Is it acceptable to earn money from snakes? Damn right it is. Hey guys, what's going on? Adam Say Exotics, welcome back to the channel. Remember, if you are new, please do me a favour, smash that subscribe button, drop a like, leave a comment, ting that notification bell so you don't get to miss a future upload. Now today we're going to go back to snakes. That little prank video I done a couple of days ago was hilarious to do, but I'm not going to make a habit too much of that. I'm going to stick to snakes, stick to what I know best and what I do best, which is breeding and keeping these wonderful animals. So today's topic, guys, as you see from the thumbnail, is going to be it's going to get a lot of negative comments. I know I'm going to get a lot of negative comments and probably a few dislikes for what I'm about to say, but it's my opinion, my channel, I'll say what I want to say, as you all know I do. So making money from ball pythons, or making money from animals, you know, in general, is frowned upon. It's seen as a bad thing. You know, you're exploiting animals to, you know, for personal gain and this, that and the other. Now, the question, is it okay to earn money from animals, or in this instance, ball pythons? The answer, yes, it's absolutely fine. And the reason I say that, and guys, this is just my opinion, you know, you don't have to agree with me, and you don't need to give me crap in the comments. If you disagree with me, tell me you disagree with me and why you disagree, and we'll have a conversation and we'll discuss why. But I'm going to tell you why I think it's okay. For centuries, for years, for thousands of years, humans have been benefiting from animals, whether it be for survival, whether it be for clothing, whether it be for medicine, whether it be for money, whatever you like. You know, all those seem to be acceptable, but just not the money part. Now, my opinion on the matter is, as long as someone take my collection for example, and I'm talking specifically about ball pythons here, so I'm not generalising animals, I'm talking specifically about these snakes and me doing what I'm doing with these snakes. So take for example, you know, I've got a yellow belly in here, right? You can't see because it's just off camera, but just using that as the first example. As long as I've always said it's down, if we're choosing to put an animal in captivity, we're responsible to make sure it gets 100% of its needs. Its heating, its lighting, its diet, its water, any sort of enrichment it needs, any sort of exercise it needs, whatever the animal may be. But in this case, snakes. Now, I'm choosing to put that snake into captivity, so it's my responsibility to make sure it's provided for 100% to the best of my ability, and give it everything, or as close to everything that it would get from the wild. Obviously, the benefit to keeping in captivity is we're taking away that, you know, the predator and a lot of disease that it would get from the wild. You know, you're not going to get, it's completely safe in these tubs, although some people don't like them in tubs. Whether you're keeping them in a big tank, little tank, whatever, they're safe from predators. They're not going to be eaten. You know, they're safe their whole life. They're not susceptible to, you know, wild disease. Yes, they can get RIs. Yes, they can get other things in captivity. But I think, you know, the life expectancy of a ball python in the wild would probably be a few years if they're lucky. Where here they can go 15, 20 plus years. And I think that's a benefit to the animal, a benefit to the species straight away. Now, making money from these. So hobbyist breeders and business breeders are two different things, as we all know. But those business breeders had to start somewhere, right? So they were hobbyists, you know, in the beginning. And let's be honest, if I was in the scenario where I could turn this hobby into a business, I definitely would, because I'd love to jack in my job and be able to do this full time. It's something I love doing. To be able to do all this and get paid for it and be able to support my family, that's 100% a great thing. That's an amazing thing to do. Is it going to happen? No. And it probably won't happen for, you know, 90% of us hobbyist breeders. That's just my opinion. It's just the facts. It's just what it is. you've got to be in a very privileged sort of place to be able to turn something like this into a business where you can have a massive facility, thousands of snakes, thousands of pounds or thousands of dollars worth of equipment, and be able to pay yourself a salary for the year to live on, to pay your mortgage, to pay your rent, to pay your bills, you know, to pay your car, to pay for your children. So to be able to do that is a privilege. Now, there's nothing wrong with business breeders. I've seen a lot of people that are, you know, business breeders get a lot of stick, and they don't deserve it. They're only doing what you wish you could do if you're in this hobby. I don't think there'd be very many people out there, if they're honest with themselves, that would say, no, I wouldn't want to do this as a business for full time. I just like doing it on the side. And that may be true for a few people, but the majority of people, in my opinion, I believe would love to turn their hobby into a business. Even if it wasn't snakes, even if it was painting or doing up cars or whatever it may be, turning it from hobby to a business has got to be the ultimate goal for anyone, right? So that's just my opinion anyway. A lot of people will come into the hobby and they will say, especially if they're on YouTube or they're on social media, they will say that they're doing this for the hobby, and any money they get back into it goes back into the business, or back into the hobby, sorry. And that is very true. I can tell you now, the money I earn doesn't go very far at all. Obviously, the biggest expense for a lot of people is feeding. Feeding ball pythons can be a massive expense, you know, if you've got a big collection. And I sort of say a big collection could be anything, you know, over 10 snakes is a large collection, let's be honest. You know, that's food every week, you know, it adds up, it really does add up. Even if you're like me and you produce your own rodents, sometimes they don't produce. Sometimes they, especially during the winter, they really slow down. Yes, my rats are all breeding still through the winter, but the litter sizes are vastly reduced. Some don't go, so I have to top up what I've got by buying in, and that money's got to come from somewhere. And a lot of you know the reasons why I came out of the hobby a few years ago, and one of the sort of conditions of me coming back into the hobby from the wife was, as long as this pays for itself, she's happy. I don't want to take, and she doesn't want me to take from, we call the pot, so we don't want to take from the family pot to spend on the collection. Yes, for my birthday or for Christmas, or for the Doncaster shows, my wife will surprise me and say, here's a little bit of money, you know, go and buy something cool, go and buy something new, or something that you've always wanted, or whatever, or a new bit of equipment. But 9 times out of 10, anything that I buy, any new pickup that you see, new bit of equipment, a new rack, a new incubator, a new this, you know, it all comes from the money that I've earned through selling my surplus offspring. Now, you will get a lot of people that will tell you that, but that's not why they're in the hobby. And you can spot those people off a mile off, in my opinion. People seem to think that they can come into this hobby, put snake A, snake B together, produce some awesome babies, sell them, and make a mint. You're deluded if you think that's possible. It costs a lot of money, and you know there's even expenses that you don't see, like electricity. Now, like me, I've got my own room at the bottom of the garden. It's a log cabin that I've converted. It's got its own power supply. It's on a separate switch or separate circuit to the rest of the house. That's an extra cost, which, you know, is significant. It can be significant. You know, these racks, and especially when the incubator is running through sort of hatching season and incubation, you know, the electricity can be astronomical, as I'm sure you understand if you do the same sort of thing. But making money from animals, it's been going on for thousands of years. You know, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, or however long ago you want to say. You know, we've been using animals for food. We've been using them for the project, you know, milk and cheese and things like that. We kill animals just for their fur, just to keep us warm. And I know there's a lot of organisations that are against that. I'm not particularly a follower of fur and things like that. But it's been happening for generations and generations and generations. I think as long as you give that animal everything it needs, like I said at the beginning, everything it needs and everything it so desires, and it couldn't want for anything else. You know, it's healthy, it's happy, it's getting fed, fresh water, fresh bedding. What's wrong with making money from it? Even if you don't want to take the money you earn from the snakes and you don't want to put it back into the hobby, and you want to take that money out and save it up and go on a holiday, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's really nothing wrong with that. It's a business. I keep saying a business. It's not a business. It's a hobby, you know, first and foremost. But you've got to live, you know, you've got to enjoy life. And if you can enjoy life with your family and the money comes from these animals, as long as they're cared for properly, you know, when you come to dogs and like puppy farms and things like that, that's obviously wrong. That's why they're cracking down on that. But as long as you can, you know, you're demonstrating that you can look after these animals correctly. If they become ill, you're treating them correctly and in a timely manner. You're making sure they're feeding. You're making sure if they've gone off food and they're on a fast, you're understanding that it's just a fast and there's no other underlying issues as to why that animal might not eat. As long as you can meet all those type of things, there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, guys. You may feel differently. Like I said, put your comments down below. We'll have a discussion about it. But in my eyes, there's nothing wrong from earning money from animals as long as that animal is cared for. Guys, I just want to give you a little update on the Lepida Firefly. Now, I haven't actually made this public knowledge, just because I've been busy, really, if I'm honest with you. This Lepida Firefly boy, I've had to put him out of the breeding squad, if you like. He was in with one of the females when I went to take him out. He had a prolapsed hemipene. Now, as you can see, it's looking quite good now. You can't see it. But this kept popping out and popping out and popping out, and basically what I did was we bathed him in sugar water. Sugar water is said to reduce swelling and things like that, which we done, and we gave him a nice soak, and you know, we left him there a good 20 minutes, half an hour, and we kept putting a plaster, popping it back in the hemipene and putting a plaster over the vent, which is fine because he hadn't fed for a couple of weeks. He last went to the toilet probably 3 or 4 days before he was bred, so I know he's empty. I know he's got nothing sort of to come out, and I only sort of kept the plaster on for a day at a time just in case he needed a wee. But so far so good. It hasn't come back out. Now, just to err on the side of caution, guys, I'm actually going to keep him out of the breeding team. He's not going to be paired again this season, because I don't want to put any unnecessary stress or pressure on that area, just for the sake of breeding. He has bred the desired female. She's had 6 locks with him, so that's more than enough. If she goes, she goes. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I'm not really that fussed. But guys, if you ever come across this sort of situation yourself, don't panic. Is the first thing to do. The most important thing when you see a prolapsed hemipene, because this happened sort of, I think, Christmas Eve, I think, when I first noticed it, and obviously you can't go to a vet on Christmas Eve, or if you can, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So a nice home treatment, Google it, you know, do some research, see if that can help you. In this case, so far so good. It has helped me. Like I said, he's nice and it's all tucked in where it should be, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, hopefully he will get, you know, back to 100% health, but he will not be breeding again this season. So guys, there you go. That's my take on earning money from animals. I agree with it, as long as, like I said, you know, the many points I've made, as long as it's done correctly, as long as fundamentally the well-being and the care of the animal is where it needs to be, then there's nothing wrong with earning money from it, in my opinion. Now, like I said, I know people aren't going to agree with me. If you don't, that's absolutely fine. You're entitled to disagree. If you want, put your comment down below and we'll have a discussion about it. But honestly, I don't mind having you know, a debate or anything like that down below in the comments, so leave your comment down below and we'll certainly have a conversation about it. So guys, thanks for watching. Happy New Year once again. Very soon I'm going to be doing a collaboration with a couple of other breeders, so I'm looking forward to that. I won't tell you who just yet, but some up and coming UK breeders that are doing really well for themselves, so I'm really excited to be a part of that. So until next time guys, thanks for watching. Thank you for your continued support. You guys are fantastic, and I'll see you very soon.